Welcome to the platform. Thank you for watching. I'm Togsy along with the Wiz, Warwick Kappa. How are you, bud?
There you go, mate. It's going good, mate. Been a big week.
It's a great show. If you're anything to do with creativity, like writing, producing, directing, you're going to absolutely love the show tonight. Stan Harrington, we caught up with him in LA, but before that I saw a documentary.
Yeah.
Did you know we did a documentary called So You Want Michael Madsen?
How long ago? 5 years?
It was about 10 years ago. I saw it on SBS and it's so good, and here's the trailer for it.
If you can bullshit and you have talent, you're ahead of the game.
The inevitable question that I always get asked is, how did you get a Golden Globe winner? How did you get John Saxon, Adrian Zmed, Rick Peters? How did you get these people in your movie?
Because all I want to do is I just want to work out a bunch of questions I can ask, because what we're going to do is a documentary for filmmakers about why it's important to get names in their film.
Well, I think a name actor is always going to be like the bounty. They always want to have an name.
I mean, look at our climate. Look at the world we live in today with the paparazzi. People are hounding celebrities day and night. People want to see celebrities. So it is good to have a celebrity in your film.
I'm not going to start shooting. I'm in pre-production right now, but I'm not going to shoot a frame until I have a name actor. It's just not going to happen.
So it's a great documentary. I recommend anyone out there that wants to make a film, a low-budget film, they should watch that documentary online. It's so cool.
Go and see Stan.
Go and
He's
see Stan.
pretty smooth too, and he gets some big names in, doesn't he?
He's a legend, and we
right,
caught up
America?
with him in LA via Skype, and it was unreal, and we filmed this. Hey mate, your story in leaving Melbourne and going over to LA to become an actor, it's a pretty awesome one. I'd like you to take us through it.
I don't know, I guess, growing up in the commission flats in Paran to an ethnic family, my parents were Greek, being an actor is not really a realistic sort of a goal or a dream, so everything I did the wrong way, and I actually ended up running into, because I was working in the motor business at the time, for John Pascoe, a guy who sells, luxury cars and stuff, and one of the clients was one of the guys from Neighbours, and I asked him, if I have an idea, will you help me put it down? And so I started writing because I had lost the nerve to act. Because when I was a kid, when I was like a teenager, I was doing stand-up. But then, I met a girl, and got married, kind of like screwed up a little bit, and realized that maybe this wasn't for me. But it was stupid, because once it's in you, it's in you, I wrote this thing, and then I thought, I'll go to America and see if I can sell it. And I managed to talk myself into some of the biggest companies, Disney, all these other people, And basically, they just said, if you're not, if you can't get someone like Mel Gibson or somebody, there's no way to sell this. Nobody cares about Australians, And I said, well, what if I got Mel Gibson? He goes, well, if you get Mel Gibson, you can put your money on a condo now. So I thought, how do I get Mel Gibson?
Are you listening to me? You don't visit. It's only through words and communication that you will truly find out who your mother really is.
And your father.
Because she is, we all are all of our experiences, not just one.
I knew I had no money left, and I met this girl who was in the office and said, I said, look, I probably wouldn't survive more than a semester because I'll run out of money. And she said, well, I came in without a lot of money, and look at me now, I'm working here. And there was something about the way she said that made me think, what the hell? I gave her whatever I had.
Yep.
I went for a semester. I ran out of money, and I thought, well, I could try and sneak in and nobody would know, but that would be dishonest, and I didn't want to do that. So I went to the owner, and I told her, I said, listen, I don't have any money, so I can't continue, so all those classes I picked, I won't be able to turn up to. And she goes, well, how much have you got? I said, oh, I don't have anything. I have to move out of my apartment and into my car because I have no money. And she goes, well, what? Well, just go to your class and come see me tomorrow. So I went back and saw her the next day and went to my classes. And she told me that my speech teacher, the one that taught me, American accents and voice and speech and everything, wanted to give me a scholarship. And from that day, I had a scholarship to study there for the entire 2 years. But because I wasn't allowed to work, I spent my whole time in the theatre, so I ended up building all their sets, I did all their lights, things that I'd never done before, but I kind of figured them out, and became so indispensable that whenever something needed to be done around the place, the owner would go, well, just ask Stan, and I became this key person within the place without a title. I just did everything, you know, like a man Friday.
Yep.
So I moved into my car, and the time I moved into my car, the day I actually did that, I was trying to decide where I was going to park to sleep. We were also doing our first school play, for me, I was there for, and we were staying very late. We usually close at 11, and they were going till 12 or 1. So the teacher said to the owner, you better give us a key for access in and out, because we're leaving late after everybody's gone.
Yep.
And then they were trying to decide who to give it to, so they gave it to me because I kind of knew everything, you know. So I'd let everybody out. I walked into the parking lot, and I looked at my car, and then I looked back up at the building, and I saw the key, and I thought, I got in my car, drove around the block with everybody else, and when everyone was gone, I went back into the building, and I slept on the stage behind the actual set for about 2 weeks until the cleaners found me. And then basically I thought I better tell her so she doesn't think I'm doing anything wrong. You know, I wouldn't want her to find out from the cleaner. Yeah. And she was kind of a testy sort of a personality. You didn't want to get her at the wrong time, so I thought I'll see what mood she's in. And before I could say anything, when she walked in, she goes, come with me. And she took me down the back, and she showed me this empty office that had nothing in it but a cushion on the floor. It was all concrete walls, which reminded me of the commission flats where I grew up, you know. Yeah. And it had this old TV that was colour, but it actually only played green and white because the colour was evaporated on it, you know. Right. And she basically said, look, we don't want you sleeping in your car, so why don't you just stay here, you know, and be like all-night security. And I lived there for 20 years.
Dude, that is like, how's that?
Yeah, I didn't even have a window.
Carlo Jr. stands to inherit millions, and I don't think he wants to share it. And you know who it is. So why don't you say we get started, shall we?
You got the money?
That money's going to be deposited right into your account, just as we agreed.
Can you believe that? Living in a room in the middle of Hollywood, in a theatre, with no window for 20 years.
Wasn't he ever 20 years? Better than sleep in the car, I suppose, eh?
Oh, man, it's just an unbelievable story. What an incredible story, chasing a dream.
That's what I always said if I was homeless. I'll at least try and buy a car, find a car and at least sleep in the car. It's a bit safer, but he's done it.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Fantastic. Anyway, after a break, back with Stan. There's more coming along. Fantastic.
Welcome back to the show and our chat with Stan Harrington on Skype from LA. And Warwick, he's a super inspiring dude, and what a story in Hollywood.
Fantastic. It's hard to make it over there, mate. Takes a lot of years. Just ask Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
He took 25 years too.
And he's right in the heart of Hollywood. And it's a fascinating chat, and here's part 2.
What's Hollywood like for people that probably haven't been there? They see it, they read about it, they see it on TV, they probably think it's all movie stars and everything's like the best of the best. But when you get there, it's a bit dodgy, isn't it?
It's a bit of a dark side, LA in there.
It's not, I think it's a little bit of a disappointment to a lot of people. You know, it's not as glitzy, or it's very dirty. A lot of homeless people. It smells like urine.
It's a big
a lot of souvenir stores and tattoo stores, and they've picked it up a little bit, but to be honest, when I first got there, it was considered very dangerous, and it was a very, very dark and dingy sort of we're talking mid-90s, you know, but it had a character about it that to me is almost like, now it's just like trying to look like Hollywood, but just as dirty and really probably more dangerous because of all the tourists, you know, all the criminal elements that come there and just, you know, hang out, and you don't know, you feel safe, but it's really not safe.
So, mate, tell us about Legends, because you came back to Australia, we caught up recently, and this is a really exciting project. Warwick's wearing the shirt.
I'm taking that show global, mate, for you and me.
Well, I was there over a year ago for my niece's wedding, and I noticed that TV, I'd always noticed that TV was going off, but it's completely off right now. Network TV is nothing but reality. Yep. And to me, it's like I saw a pattern that was going on in America, happening in Australia, where they lose faith in content because they're only interested in making bucks. They're more interested in who's in it than how good the characters are.
Big Brother and Love Island reality,
Well, you know, like you put a thong on TV, somebody will watch it, and then you can sell advertising, and then we'll make characters out of that, you know?
About them living,
not to criticize any particular show, because I think there's room for everything, but you can't just completely get rid of storytelling, because that's what film and TV is a medium for. You know, it's a medium for telling stories, and unfortunately the same thing happened in movies and whatever, and in America, what happened is they realized that people weren't sick of great stories. What happened was we're all paying premium bucks now to pay for HBO and Showtime and Netflix and Amazon to see those great shows because network gave up on them and they can't catch up now. I got an article a friend sent me from the Herald not that long ago saying that audiences are leaving network in droves. Wow. Because, there's only so many cooking shows and so many, contest shows and dating shows that you can see before you start tuning out. I mean, you get better stuff on your phone, So I thought I'll do something that nobody else has done. So my goal was to get that age demographic, which they so desperately want, which is teenagers to early 20s, do something that nobody else has done, and to do one thing that McDonald's does, which I think that's why I call it my McDonald's show, because what McDonald's does is they advertise to kids, but a 5 and 6 year old can't go in by themselves. They've got to take their parents, So they get everybody, and if you go to McDonald's now, there are as many adults as there are kids buying food. So I thought if I can get every age demographic, and do something that everybody wants to see, how can they say no?
It'll work, yeah.
So I came up with this idea for Legends, which is set in 1980, which is the most popular era right now. The 70s and the 80s has just got this perennial appeal, and the proof is in the pudding. If they're looking at figures and they're just accountants, then look at the figures, because Cobra Kai, Stranger Things, Lost in Space, all these shows that are coming out of that era is because that's the era that's selling right now. Yeah. So the only difference is what I've got that, say, Lost in Space doesn't have is an original story. This isn't a remake of anything. This is original. And to cap it off at the end, and what it does is it follows 3 boys in 1980, and you just see life in Australia, in the suburbs of Melbourne in 1980 through the eyes of these boys. And the way that the older generation feeds into it is because when they watch it, the way it's written, you see yourself in these kids. You live vicariously through them. You say, I so remember that. That happened to me. I know that,
You're a self-creator, mate. So outside the system, you're constantly creating content. You're always pushing films. You're always writing. You're always doing stuff. It's awesome. It's inspiring. What would you say to other people out there about having a crack?
You do think out of the vortex, Stan, don't you?
Well, young people that come up to me and ask me, I always tell them, don't lose your enthusiasm, because you're going to get jaded very quickly if you buy into everything, your successes and your failures, because nothing is real. And what's going to happen is everyone's going to tell you why you suck, why you won't make it. If you can tune out the noise and stay enthusiastic, your career will flourish. Yeah. If you buy into it and fall into it, all that negative stuff that's going on, you'll get jaded very quickly, and nothing will cost you a job more than negative energy.
Yeah, you got to keep it positive.
Cool, man. So where are we at with Legends right now? You came back and shot the series, and
so we shot 4 episodes, kind of like a pilot, because usually with a pilot they want an hour. This is a half-hour show, so I thought I'll put 4 of them together so that people can see it. And it looks sensational. We've got an amazing cast of people that are famous there, as well as people that are famous here. I could tell you about who's in it if you want to know.
Yeah, man.
I'd like to know that. Who my co-stars are? Who are my co-stars? Stan?
Sally Ann Upton from Wentworth, who plays Juicy.
She act?
And they're on ABC right now. We got Matt Testro, who was the lead in Nowhere Boys, which is now sold worldwide, not just in Australia. He was on the first 3 seasons. He was the main character.
That's good.
We've got Matt Workmeister, who was on Neighbours for 7 seasons. We've got Rick Peters, who flew out with me from America, who's probably best known for Dexter and the CSI group and all those types of shows. We've got Emmett Skelton from New Zealand, who's in a show that you guys get on Foxtel called The Almighty Johnsons. He's the main character in that show. But he's also done movies over here. He was on AMC's Making of the Mob and the Playboy Story about Hugh Hefner on Amazon. So he's a big star. He's also one of our directors. We've got Jan Russ, who discovered Delta Goodrem and Kylie Minogue and all those people. She was an actress too before she was a casting director, and now she plays the principal at the school.
Like I said before, man, you're an inspiring guy. I think it's awesome what you're doing. I hope Legends is a huge success in Australia and around the globe. And thank you for being on the show, mate.
We're at Cabot's Hoggies from the #1 show platform, and we'll see you for number 2 show, Legends, worldwide soon.
Well, Legends going to be fantastic, because guess what, Tugsy? I'm in it. He's put the big spot for me and Renee Stink. That's going to be shit hot. I've been practicing my lines for 2 months.
He told me he's written a pretty decent episode with you in it.
I hope we can.
And there's quite a bit of conflict.
Hope we can do some hangers in the stairwell.
Yeah.
Do some cappuccinos.
Yo.
Your beauty.
It's going to be great. And speaking of great stories and inspirational stuff, just recently there was a story coming out on the Gold Coast about a family who's created a TV series called Stage Mums. I contacted them on Facebook, and we'll catch up with them when we come back. Hey guys, Togsy here from the platform. We have a great young team of people that put the show together every week, but we couldn't do it without our sponsors, and they are UltraTune. Sean and the team, thank you so much for backing us. Carlision, Huss and the guys, the best car repairs in Australia. RS Chase Lawyers for all your legal needs, and Property Direct AU. Sam and his team will look after you. Thanks guys for supporting the platform, and now back to the show. Welcome back to the show, and another chat about some inspirational self-started content, which is always inspiring, isn't it, Warwick, when someone just gets out there. I mean, we're a self-started show with the platform.
We are, and I self-started myself when I was 9 playing footy.
There you go.
Now I'm an absolute megastar.
And it's the Massey family on the Gold Coast. They created a show called Stage Mums. Like I said, I contacted them on Facebook, and we filmed a chat on Skype, and here they are. Anna Waters Massey, Cleo Rose Massey from the Gold Coast, soon to dominate Australian TV screens. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tell us about this awesome concept, which is Stage Mums.
Well, it started, I just was writing skits for a friend and I to do, just to keep active with, while you wait for other jobs to come in.
Yeah.
And it just snowballed. It went really well on YouTube. We were loading them on YouTube and we got really good response. And I knew that I wanted to develop all the other characters that we talked about. And then that's what we finally did last year.
And how many of the family are involved in this? There's a mum and daughter, but is like everyone involved?
Yeah, my husband's in it too. He plays my husband. In the first few, like when it was just skits, he was actually filming and editing it all as well. And because we're musicians as well, we wrote the bulk of the music together.
Now, Cleo, you've got a bit of a background with acting, right? You've done quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah. I kind of got my first big role when I was 11 on H2O Just Add Water. So I filmed that for 4 years, and when that finished, I just realised how much I loved acting and wanted to continue that path. So just lots of auditions and got an acting visa for the States, got representation there, and kind of just go back and forth. And, yeah, now that this is happening, it's all really exciting because it's just another great acting role, and now the world can see it.
Now, you two are on the Gold Coast. What's the scene like up there for creating TV and stuff? Is there a lot of support, or do you find yourself kind of being a bit isolated?
No, I think it's pretty active. Like, there's a lot of indie filmmakers here and a lot of creativity.
It's getting better. It's getting way better. I think it used to be a little dead, like not much was happening on the Gold Coast. You kind of have to fly down to Sydney or Melbourne or even Brisbane sometimes, but the studios now are so busy, and because all of the big films are coming to the studios, we get opportunities with that. And I think people are moving here because of the studios and because of the excitement and what's happening, and it just makes so many more opportunities for everyone, whether you're crew or cast.
And the weather's great here. Why would you not want to live near the beach?
Hey, I grew up on the Gold Coast. I miss it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So with the show and the genesis of it, how long ago was the idea? I know sometimes it takes a lot of time to get something off the ground. So when did it first kind of germinate?
Yes, it has. It's taken a long time. It was the end of 2014 when we first did the first skit. So they're just Shaz and Trace. So it's just basically the two mums, which is me and Tara Page, with glasses of wine, talking about making our children famous. So we talk about, Dancer Stedfords and, I don't know, all those things that mums talk about, and it's all very tongue-in-cheek. And then it developed into last year having a full cast and crew. We had, 30 actors?
Yeah.
Wow.
And probably 30 or 40 crew. Awesome crew, yeah.
So tell us a bit more about the show. Like the idea is the stage mums, the daughter's got to get famous and stuff, but what are the other characters and what can we expect to see on TV soon?
So you have the arch nemesis, because everyone's got to have an arch nemesis. And that is played by Jerry Connolly in a dress. Hilarious.
Wow.
Is so funny. I mean, we all know him from Fast Forward, dressed as the Queen. You know, he's famous for his Queen Elizabeth character. So I don't know why. We just thought, let's get a guy to play it in a dress. So he plays Amanda Kingsford Smythe, the rich, entitled arch nemesis who always one-ups Shaz and Trace. Right. And then, of course, she has a spoilt daughter, Penelope Elizabeth Kingsford Smythe. And we just thought that they should all have hyphenated names because it just sounds funny.
Root me both! We're going to have to do this ourselves. You are joking. Superstar, you're so famous, the whole wide world knows what your name is. Heard you got ripped off by I1 agency.
Out of my way, there's no comment. Oh my giddy aunt.
What would you say are your strong points?
Obviously my looks.
What's it like working with your mum?
It's good. It's fun. I mean, we're very close anyway. We kind of do everything together as it is. So I feel like even if I wasn't in the series, I would have been hanging around and I would have got myself in somewhere or vice versa. But it is really fun. And I think when we were filming the skits, Shaz and Trace, before Stage Mums kind of came about, I was directing it, so I kind of got to tell her what to do.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting dynamic.
Yeah, that was good. And she always just did what I told her.
Well, I think, like I said, the self-creative thing I think is awesome. What advice would you have for other people out there that think they have a great idea for a show or something and they want to make it? What would you say to them?
Just do it. That's the thing. We all have the technology now. You can film awesome stuff on your phone now, you know, and Shaz and Trace were just done on DSLR and put on YouTube. You've got the power to put it out there on YouTube, Vimeo, all of those platforms and build a following, which is what we did. We built a following and then we shopped it out once we had the, you know, Stage Mums all filmed and everything. And it's TV quality and we just shopped it out and just kept on knocking on doors until Channel 10 Network said yes, and we were like, oh.
Well, yeah, I think it's great. Congratulations to both of you. Can't wait to see the show, and well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Fantastic show, Togsy. Stage Mums. I want to get a berth on that. I've done Neighbours, Fat Pizzas, Anytime Fitness, every show in Australia, Current Affair. Stage Mums will be fantastic. Anyway, thanks for watching The Platform.
And you can find us on our socials, theplatformtv.net. We'll see you next week.
Woo!